Okay. Hello and bienvenido. How do you say in English? Welcome. Sorry. Hello and welcome to the Power of Polarity in the webinars of Masculine and Feminine United with Frank Labuda and
Maria Appelqvist. I'm very happy to be here and speaking about polarity.
Yeah, I will read a bit of the entrance of the Tony Robbins video, because I think it gives you a hint about what it's about. In any relationship where there's sexual attraction and deep intimate connection, you'll find the power of opposite energies at play. We have intense physical chemistry with those who have an opposite energy to your own. Whether masculine or feminine, the energy is not gender-based. Every woman and man has varying degrees of both of masculine and feminine energy, but one is the natural dominant force in you. Polarity is like a switch. It can be turned on in a moment. When it comes to love and passion, practice and cultivate your natural energy. Embody it, embrace it, and it will energize your relationship. So the principle is what makes a relationship works is things in common. But what makes a relationship passionate is things being different.
So it's about how you create hotness.
How you create?
Hotness.
Hotness, yeah.
Yes.
The hot thing is the different, because there's attraction, there's passion, there's all those things. But plenty of people want to get more in the common things, and they're if they're different values, you will hate each other. There's no way to come together. But different energy, regardless of the gender, like we said above, could be man or woman, could be two men or two women. Important is that there is a feminine and a masculine dominance. So this attracts, and then there are sparks and electricity.
Well, it's also about how to learn to play with it, because we are both masculine and feminine. We have both the energies within us. So it's also about your capacity to deliberately play with those energies. And knowing that same, it's like magnets. Plus pull, they are actually, they're going their own way. What's calling? They're attracting, right? While plus and minus, the differences are attracting in. And that's the whole understanding of polarity, is to see that differences attracts in, similarities, what's the word? Dispel, dismiss each other.
The thing is that plenty people wants to have that things in common, the same visions, the same, and the problem is if a woman, for example, gets stressed and tired, what does she need from her man? That he gets into his masculine. But the problem there is, if she is masculine and he is more masculine, they will start the war. Because plus and plus gets minus. Like you said, no? And if she is really feminine, then she could allow that the man hold her in her stress, in her so it's important that you see that the opposite magnet, for example, attracts.
But Frank, this is actually something I've been teaching women too, who has leadership positions at work, because what I learned through the years, and it just came and grown naturally, was that they were so much in their masculine energy, so they created conflict with other women who were also in their masculine energies. And then when I started to ask the men, I was coaching men that was working in the same place, and like, how are you dealing with these women? And they said, no, you just need to have strategies. And I just understand how, at least in Sweden, how men adapt somehow to this masculine woman and step so much more into their feminine, but they are also used to handle that kind of woman at home. So at work, they know how to do it in a way, while women are who are coming very strong from their masculine, they are basically not paying attention to their communication and not paying attention to how their energy is coming out.
I think you have to see also the masculine and the feminine energy approach, because a man is focused on his thing and puts out all other things, and it's going only this way. Focus, exactly. Yeah. And the woman is multitasking and getting aware of all things around. So if man should go into this energy, or this feminine energy, of course he can hold, he can be cute, he can be smooth, but he will be stressed out if he should take all at once. It's not possible. His brain is not trained for do that. So I think a woman can get really focused, but a man couldn't get multitasked. Sorry. There's no way to it. So I think for a man to take the feminine part, if you have children, for example, to talk to the neighbor and in the same moment to hear what is the child doing behind, and being aware of the dog, for example, will be stressed out totally. And the mom said, "Oh, what was that about? You just there and do it." Yeah, you can't. So there we have a great difference between the energies. But I found something today. I didn't paint it. I will do that.
So because while you're doing this, can you handle a question at the same time, Frank?
Yes, I think I can. Although it's multitasking. I'm multitasking in the moment because I had to get a piece of paper, and I had one.
So here is, Kia had a question, and I think it's a good question, and I can answer it. It might be more interesting if you are answering it. How do we know that a woman shows up in her masculine?
Good question. Next one.
So for me, I can feel it. Like it's something that is created. Energy is something you can feel.
Yeah, of course. Exactly.
So it's not only how you're behaving or what you're saying. There's the feeling of where you're coming from. And Astrid says polarity sounds more like a place for growing, and polarity sounds like we can get balance. Yes.
Exactly.
And there is this. Okay, so here's the thing. Imagine you're in a relationship and you're not conscious around these things. Then with times things get dull and boring because you haven't learned how to pay attention, you haven't learned how to cultivate your energy.
That depends. That depends also on the energy. Which energy? If they really have a different energy, one is masculine and one is feminine, I think then it could be equilibrated. I made this sign. I don't know. You can see it.
See it. That's the.
And the result is the common gets moved, get in motion, you know?
As you say, it's a great sign, Frank. Bravo! You did it. That was perfect. Okay, so this is again, like this is, I think, both. There is something about when you're paying attention to the energies, and when you understand like polarity, you understand also how you can play with it. So in the same way, and this is something we're going to do in a mastermind. We're going to dive deeper into this also in retreats, because it's something that happens in your physics. Is
exactly.
How are you, like if you're just standing in your feminine, how do you look like? It's totally different compared to if you're standing in your masculine. And it's not until you actually start to practice that, and also start to practice it with the opposite gender, to see they also playing with the masculine and feminine. And so it's not about being man or woman, but actually playing with the energies and doing that to the opposite sex, and going from, you know, different kind of people from the opposite sex, and feeling that when you're in the polarity, there is something like a chemistry happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you're charging your batteries in a way, so it just creates electricity to the relationships, and it's
nice.
very present.
I think these both energies are not going like this later, like up and down and up and down, but they create like an energy ball, and the ball goes on. So you could what's it called? Grow. Something. Sometimes you could grow much faster and have that sparkling energy in your relationship, because you're growing together. And if sometime one is making a seminar and the other stays at home for the kids or something like that, he or she can take the other one along then, because it's acceptation. I think acceptation is great word, and awareness. I try to translate awareness into German or into Spain. It's not possible. There's no really word that explains awareness. And for me, awareness is something bigger than only paying attention to the other one. It's what you're saying, the feeling, the where is the other one? What does he or she need in this moment? And here we come principally to some needs. A lady needs to be to be seen, for example, and she needs to be safe, or to feel safe.
Feel safe.
And she needs to feel to be understood.
Can we just make a frame of reference this? We have someone coming in, so I'm going to mute the audio. Because I'm living in Sweden, you know, Frank, this is a country where men don't see women.
Okay.
We're living in a country where men don't see women, and it's enough going to Copenhagen. It's like, I know now I'm in a country where men do see women, or so there is something in our culture, because our norm of equality, like equality between sexes, is so strong. So it's almost politically incorrect for a man to see a woman. And I heard a lot of men having an immigrant background coming and being in Sweden and just being nice, polite, holding doors, or they got women being angry on them because they are just being polite. So we are actually living in I think it's an exaggeration in our society that has happened, but the result, women are not used to be seen. Maybe that's the reason why there is a reputation around Swedish women abroad in Spain and other countries that they are very easy to catch, because since they are not used to be seen, when a man really sees them, it's unusual for them.
Okay, but then you can receive more rejection.
Yeah, but I think there is something here, because I remember one of my Irish friends, and she was spending time with me here and commuting to Copenhagen, and she said, when we was having this conversation, now I understand what's going on. I'm seeing these Swedish men being on the train, and I see all these beautiful women, and nobody is even checking them out. It's like the men have become numb to their own masculinity, which is actually like, there is a beautiful woman, I should check her in. But I have suppressed that. So I have numbed myself out from being in contact with that masculinity.
I think we have a difference here in feel to be seen, in a relationship approach, and to see a woman or to look at a woman in the normal public space, because there for me is a difference. If I see you, is meant for me to be that I recognize you, and if I want something to start with you, I think I have to see you, because you wouldn't react. And it's to be seen in your let's say in your femininity. Yeah, it's see you and I'm got focused on you, for example. Yeah?
Exactly, but this doesn't happen with Swedish men. That's what I'm trying to say here. There is something like, and as a result, Swedish women are not used to see men either. So one example, I was on my flight, I had men speaking English accent around me. So they were around from UK. When I was getting off the plane and I had my bag, one of these gentlemen, of course, he helped me, took down the bag for me. And that's the kind of, like, Swedish guys would be like, you don't really see that happens. I mean, it's like, there is something here, and I think it goes the other way around also, that Swedish men, since they are starving for being seen and being acknowledged also. But that's the consequence of this equality society. Maybe that's why.
But that drives the women to be masculine, in my opinion.
Exactly, that's what happens. Because
so how got you into a relationship? You even can't speak to a girl.
So that's what happens. A lot of people prefer to be single and independent, because what's the point with a man, or what's the point with a woman, and I have my cat, or whatever it is. So actually, the cultural norm is very strong that people like their independence.
Okay.
So I think we have a problem here. Maybe. So now Kia is saying
we have plenty of work here.
Yes, there is a plenty of work here. Maybe
I should come to Sweden.
That's what my friend there up there in North is saying to me, Maria. There is a reason why you are born in Sweden and you're doing what you're doing. There is a reason for this.
Yeah, of course.
It's almost like it would be even more like standing and speaking this kind of conversation in public. That's like really, that's to kill yourself, basically, because the cultural norm is strong.
Well, I come with my healing touch thing, and and the people will freak out.
Yeah, but I mean, I know you live in Spain, Frank, and you're from Germany, and I know I've been in both Spain and Germany. I know, and in the United States too. I mean, I think there is something weird going on in this country.
Okay,
but who knows? Kia seems to be agreed that it's a struggle to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, now I understand. There's a castle which is called Fidelity of Women, because when a Swedish General Tilly came in the War of 30 Years, and they want to conquer the castle, and all people were in there. They said, okay, the women and the child can go out and can take along what they can carry. And he thought they will carry food or something. No, the women took their men on the back and ran out of the castle. So they were so surprised, the Swedish, that they they had to laugh like you, and they said, okay, if you give up the castle without resistance, we let all alive.
Mm.
So it's a very nice history.
Yeah, Astrid saying, you will create a heated debate in media here in Sweden talking about masculinity and femininity like this. We're supposed to have both in equal amount and fix it ourselves. But here's the problem, like, why do we have a high divorce rate? Why do people prefer to stay alone and isolation instead of connecting? Like, why it's so difficult to heal that? I know, Kia, you were asking it, like, heal that hurted part of yourself. We all have been hurt in love in some way. It comes from somewhere.
Of course. Yeah.
But the solution is not to avoid relationships. The solution is to dive fully in. And I just saw this video today that Nicole Dedon used in her teaching, how a little kid that's doing his, what's it called? When you're going on your skis downhill for the big jump. What is called?
I don't know the English word.
They do it in Norway.
Yeah, they even do it in the Black Forest.
Yeah, and he's standing there, and they have the microphone so you can hear him speaking. And he's trembling and like, I can't do this, and I'm so nervous, and how am I doing this, and what am I doing? And then finally he goes, and like he's just leaping in there, and then you hear the excitement, and then when he's landing, like, wow, yeah, I could do it. But that is what needs to happen in relationships, like fully.
Exactly.
Like, throwing yourself in full-hearted and be ready to die.
But that happens only if we have opposite energies. If the feminine really can be feminine and masculine can be masculine.
Yes.
Also, the man will be looking about the kids or something like that, and the woman goes for work. I think it's important that we get in our normal gender. Okay, if it's two women or two men, it's the same. You have to go in that gender. What is normal for you, or what are you born with, man or a woman? And if you go out, this is another thing. But the relationship should be in this opposite energies, because if you have a magnet, the opposite energies, they attract, and the same, you can bring them together. So that what people are looking for is that they have the same things in common and all those things, and so it gets boring with the time, because there's the spark is missing, and the thing is to have both in one.
So it was actually someone who was asking me on my Facebook page today, because right now I'm posting every day something around polarity and understanding polarity, both as a universal law, because it exists in everything, but also when it comes to understanding gender. And and how you create thriving relationships. And there was this Swedish guy that was asking like, what's the point? And I'm like, am I supposed to answer him or yes or no? But it's like Astrid is saying, you're not used to see and understand and speak about it. We have no training in it either. So that's, I think, what's going on. Time is running out, Frank.
Well, I want to say something about to have both ways, the certainty and the uncertainty. No, the certainty of have something in common, and later the uncertainty of have excitements about the differences. And I think Tony gave us very good hints there. The way to have both is to learn to honor the differences.
Yeah. Exactly.
And enjoy the differences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially, he says, to worship the other.
Yeah.
If you worship another person, the person will never leave. You have a raving fan, we could say. You could use that even in business. And
well, actually, it is used in business. That's how successful business create good customer relationships.
And it's also important that you know what you want out of a relationship before you going to look out for a woman or for a man. If you want and know what you want, if you know your vision, and you know what you don't like, what you don't want to experience anymore, so you are much more clear. If you're not clear, if you're not focused, or you're focused on the outside to get a pretty woman, you will be screwed up. So important is that you have clarity. What is the relationship for? What want I out the outcome of the relationship? And it's not only to have good sex or to be with a nice girl at my side that is presentable or something. No, almost I don't.
So here again, we've been speaking about this before, Frank, that usually men and women, so this is not about man and woman, but men and women normally come together as creating a family and children, and that becomes the project. Yeah. So again, what Frank is saying is like you always need to find, like that just happens and you don't speak about it, and then you realize when you have the children that you have not the same values, and you have some conflict, how to bring them up and so forth. So then you separate. But that's only a project for 15, 20 years. Yes.
And what's then?
So then you need to find a way of how you create conscious relationships that is thriving, where you have a project together. There is something like some people might get a dog or a horse or whatever, but there has to be something in common that has this purpose.
Exactly.
If it's going,
but it has to be different also to have the sparks.
Okay, I think we're having a great conversation.
I will close with a joke. A couple which both have more than 90 years come to the judge for divorce, and the judge says, "Oh, you have been so long time together. Why do you want to divorce now?" "Oh," said the man, "we wanted to wait until the children is dead." So maybe this is a project or something like that. In my family, my mother died and my grandmother died a year later because she couldn't support it. that her daughter was dying before her. So sometimes we have to get clear about what is the relationship really for. It's not to growing up children. It's to having a really beautiful life, and not to having fights all over and being the other opinion or have to be in resistance.
Exactly, and that's an art and skill to learn, and that's why we're creating this mastermind. That's why we want you to join our mastermind. So, which starting in November. So we want you to join so you can be part of this conversation and get the tools and start to heal that story of yourself that couldn't connect and couldn't create that hot relationship you really wanted to have.
Exactly. And sometimes you're rejecting your own gender, or you want to be more a man, or you want to be more, and that's it's all mindfuck. And mindfuck that we learned. And what we have learned, we can dislearn.
Okay, I'm closing
and
for
want
today.
You to to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I close
Many
the
thanks.
recording. Thank you for today.